Today, we'll discuss the information warfare by General Giap in his campaigns. Question: give examples of how General Giap used information warfare towards military success. With the help of propaganda and psychological warfare, General Giap was able to significantly enhance the effectiveness of the military campaigns. He was also able to demoralize the enemy and bolsters support for the cause of the freedom, both domestically and internationally. Some of the examples of this information warfare are given in the succeeding slides. Domestic propaganda, building nationalistic fervor. Jap's propaganda efforts focused on building a strong cause for nationalism and unity among the Vietnamese people. Through speeches, posters, literature, and leaflets, the Viet Minh and later the North Vietnamese government portrayed the struggle as the patriotic duty against foreign invaders. This made the population to support the cause for a protracted period of time. Heroic portrayal of fighters. Viet Minh and North Vietnamese army soldiers were depicted as heroic and self sacrificing. Stories of individual bravery and collective spirit were widely disseminated to inspire the population. And probably that is why, in spite of the number of casualties which the Viet Minh suffered, they did not face any problem with the enlistment and recruitment. International propaganda. Gaining international support. Giap's propaganda highlighted Vietnamese struggle as a part of a larger global movement against imperialism and colonialism. This narrative helped garner support from the socialist countries and the anti-war movement around the world. Diplomatic messaging. By emphasizing themes of peace, independence, and self determination, Giap's propaganda aimed to appeal the international audience and win diplomatic support, portray the North Vietnamese cause as just and legitimate. Psychological warfare in Dien Bien Phu. Giap used psychological tactics to demoralize the French forces. He spread misinformation about the strength and position of Viet Minh forces, created a sense of inevitability about their defeat. The French, already isolated and under siege, were further demoralized by the psychological operations. This contributed to their eventual surrender. Viet Minh used loudspeakers to broadcast messages to French soldiers, emphasizing their hopeless situation, encouraging them to surrender. These messages highlighted the futility of resistance and promised fair treatment to those who surrender, further weakening the resolve of the besieged forces. Media campaigns. Yap ensured that Viet Minh's success were widely publicized. The capture of Dien Bien Phu was portrayed as a triumph of the Vietnamese people against colonial oppression, inspiring national pride and support for the Viet Minh cause. Exploiting enemy intelligence failures. Giap often fed false information to the enemy intelligence services, leading them to make critical errors. For instance, Before the Tet Offensive in 1968, he managed to mislead American forces into believing that the main attack would occur somewhere else, allowing the Viet Cong and the North Vietnamese forces to achieve surprise and inflict significant damage. By attacking the cities and towns in large number, Giap aimed to create a psychological impact on both the American public and military. The widespread nature of the offensive contradicted US official statements that Vietcong were nearly defeated, leading to a significant shift in the public opinion. Deception tactics in operations. Giap employed deceptive maneuvers to mislead his adversaries. He orchestrated feints and diversions that misled the South Vietnamese forces about the main thrust of his offensive. This allowed North Vietnamese army to achieve rapid, decisive victories. He also used decoys and dummies. In Ho Chi Minh Trail, they had the decoys, the dummy installations, and false trails to mislead US reconnaissance and bombing effort. This not only protected the real trail but also frustrated the American military planners, and as a result, a lot of bombing effort went waste. Media manipulation. Jap understood the power of the media and he used it to shape public perception by allowing Western journalists to see the Vietnamese resilience and the hardship they endured. He was able to influence the public opinion in the West, particularly in the United States, where growing anti war sentiment eventually pressured the government to withdraw troops. Exploitation of the terrain knowledge. Utilizing superior knowledge of the local terrain, Giap's forces were able to launch surprise attacks and then disappear into the landscape. This confused and frustrated the enemy forces. This not only impacted them physically, but also psychologically, as the Vietmen became sort of elusive for them. And sometimes they also felt that the Vietmin is omnipresent. So, what we see here is through his methods, Jeb demonstrated his mastery of the information warfare, significantly contributing to his military success and his reputation as one of the most brilliant military strategists of the 20th century. Thank you.